Just want to give you an update on the case regarding 23-year-old Kada Scott, who went missing on October 4th. A little bit of a somber and grateful moment here right now.
Yeah, today marks day 13 in the search for Kada Scott, 23 years old, and you mentioned it, 21-year-old Keon King, now facing a slew of charges, including kidnapping in connection to the disappearance of Kada Scott. Now, we are learning some new details about him, but let me give you a background in terms of where we are and how we got here.
What if I told you the FBI just uncovered a secret so dark it makes every true crime documentary look like a Disney movie? Because the case of 23-year-old Kada Scott just took a turn nobody was ready for. Not the media, not the police, not even her own so-called friends. The FBI's leaked report doesn't just call it a murder, it calls it a planned torture operation. Yeah, you heard that right, planned, plotted, and executed with military precision. So who signed off on this nightmare? Keon King? Gabby? Or someone even higher up? Buckle up. This story is about to explode. When the FBI got involved in the Kada Scott case, people thought it was just another tragic missing persons report, another young woman gone too soon. But insiders say what agents found in that abandoned school building was so brutal, they immediately suspected a setup. Not a random act of violence, but a fully orchestrated plan. Reports suggest Kada's body was discovered in a shallow grave, barely covered, as if someone wanted her to be found. And get this, the same area had already been searched by local police a week before and was declared clear. So how did her body suddenly appear there days later? That's the question that has shaken this entire investigation. According to leaked FBI documents, the timeline doesn't add up. Surveillance footage shows a suspicious black SUV parked near the site at 3 a.m., 2 days after the original police search. Agents now believe the killers may have moved her body from another location, trying to stage a fake discovery scene to throw off investigators. And at the center of all this confusion, one name keeps popping up like a bad echo: Keon King. Remember, this isn't the first time Keon's name has been whispered in the shadows. He's the same man accused in 2021 of kidnapping a young woman in nearly identical circumstances. Back then, charges mysteriously disappeared. The case went cold, but now the FBI suspects that history might be repeating itself only this time, with deadlier results. And then there's Gabby. Oh, Gabby, the woman who was supposedly Kada's friend, but can't seem to get her story straight. First, she told investigators she hadn't seen Kada in days. Then suddenly, screenshots from Kada's phone showed a text from Gabby sent just hours before she vanished. Don't forget to bring it. Keon's waiting. Bring what? Money? Evidence? Drugs? Nobody knows. But one thing's clear: Gabby's story is falling apart faster than her social media followers. The FBI is now piecing together what they call a deliberate psychological trap. Sources say Kada may have been lured under the pretense of a meet-up, something casual, only to walk into a setup that spiraled out of control. An unnamed FBI insider allegedly told reporters this wasn't random. The people involved knew exactly what they were doing, and they wanted to send a message. But a message to who? And why? Online, theories are running wild. Some say this is a revenge killing linked to a love triangle. Others believe it's part of a larger trafficking ring. One viral TikTok user even claimed to have a recording of Keon and Gabby arguing about burying something the night Kada disappeared. No proof yet, but the internet doesn't need proof. It just needs fire. And this case is burning hot. As the FBI digs deeper, what they've uncovered so far points to something way darker than anyone expected. And by the time they hit the bottom of this rabbit hole, some very familiar names might be dragged right down with it. The second wave of this investigation hit social media like a bomb. Within hours of the FBI leak, hashtags like #JusticeForKada and #KEO and did it were trending everywhere. Twitter detectives turned the case into a full-blown digital manhunt. But behind the chaos, insiders claimed the Bureau had already made some quiet breakthroughs, the kind that don't make headlines, but change everything. According to an alleged internal memo, forensic teams discovered traces of industrial-grade sedatives in Kada's bloodstream, chemicals not available to the public. That's not street stuff. That's lab level. So, where would someone like Kian King get that? Enter Gabby again, who just so happens to work at a private medical supply distributor. The same company that recently reported missing inventory of the exact drugs found in Kada's system. Coincidence? Yeah, right. One FBI agent supposedly told a journalist off record, this wasn't just violence. This was calculated pain. Every step from abduction to disposal was mapped out, chilling words that flipped the case from a random killing to an orchestrated torture plot. Then came the money trail. Investigators traced a series of anonymous wire transfers totaling over $40,000 to an offshore account linked to Kian. The deposits started 3 days before Kada vanished and ended the day her body was found. Where was that money coming from? No one knows for sure, but a fake consulting company registered under Gabby's cousin's name suddenly popped up in the transactions. It's like a spider web. Every strand leads to another name, another lie, another betrayal. Meanwhile, Gabby's behavior online only made things worse. Instead of going silent, she went live on Instagram, crying 1 minute, defensive the next. She claimed she was being framed and that the real killer is still out there, but the comments were brutal. Viewers noticed her background boxes of sealed medical kits stacked behind her. Someone paused the live and zoomed in, spotting a barcode that matched the distributor connected to the stolen sedatives. The clip went viral within minutes. Even more disturbing? A leaked voicemail from Kada's phone surfaced. A shaky, trembling voice whispering. They said, "It's just a warning. Please tell Mom I'm sorry." The timestamp was 9:47 p.m., just 2 hours before she was reported missing. The public went ballistic. Comment sections flooded with theories that Kada had uncovered something she wasn't supposed to know. Some say she was blackmailing Kian. Others believe she was ready to expose a trafficking pipeline disguised as a medical transport business by this point. The FBI had sealed the crime scene and started questioning everyone linked to Kian and Gabby. Anonymous insiders leaked that they'd recovered digital blueprints, blueprints detailing the exact routes from Kada's last known location to the abandoned school. The word delivery was scribbled in the margins. What kind of delivery ends with a shallow grave? And yet, even with mounting evidence, nobody had been charged. It's almost as if someone powerful was keeping things quiet. But that silence wouldn't last much longer. By the time the third week rolled around, the case had gone from local heartbreak to national scandal. Every major outlet wanted a piece of the story. But the real dirt was leaking online through underground blogs and Reddit threads titled the Kada Files. What they were posting made the official reports look like bedtime stories. According to one viral post from a supposed FBI insider, the agency had found security footage showing Kian and an unidentified woman believed to be Gabby entering the wooded area behind the abandoned school just hours before Kada's body was found. But here's where it gets weird. The footage was timestamped for days after police had already searched the area and cleared it, meaning someone brought Kada's remains back after the first sweep. Let that sink in. Somebody moved her deliberately just to make sure she'd be discovered. But why? Maybe to send a message. Maybe to cover someone else's tracks. Either way, this wasn't random. It was choreographed. Then came the biggest leak yet, a classified FBI report labeled Project Haven. Allegedly, it revealed that the location where Kada was found wasn't just an abandoned school. Beneath that property, there was an old fallout shelter once used by a private youth rehab organization. The same facility Kian King attended as a teenager before it mysteriously shut down due to unethical experiments. Suddenly, the words planned and plotted didn't sound so far-fetched. Witnesses from the area claimed they'd seen black SUVs parked near the site late at night, headlights off, engines running. Locals thought it was just urban explorers until the footage surfaced. The vehicles were traced to a defunct security firm that once provided escort services for state facilities. The same firm Kian had done odd jobs for last year. You can't make this up. Meanwhile, Gabby's story kept crumbling. She told police she hadn't seen Kian for weeks, but phone logs proved they'd exchanged 37 messages the night Kada disappeared. And one of them, at exactly 10:03 p.m., simply read, "It's done." The next morning, she deleted her entire message history. Girl, that's not damage control. That's confession cleanup. But even more disturbing? A new witness, a janitor from the nursing home where Kada worked, came forward claiming he saw Gabby and Kian arguing in the parking lot days before the disappearance. His words? It wasn't no lover's quarrel. It was business. Cold business. When the FBI finally raided Kian's old apartment, they reportedly discovered handwritten notes, addresses, coded phrases, and a chilling entry dated October 3rd, tomorrow night. She talks, we all fall. At this point, public outrage was boiling over. Protests erupted outside City Hall, demanding justice. Online sleuths were tagging the FBI in every post, accusing them of protecting higher-ups, and then, out of nowhere, the Bureau released a statement saying, "This investigation involves multiple jurisdictions and potential federal offenses." Translation? They just confirmed what everyone feared. This goes way beyond one man and one victim. The web was wider. The plan was deeper. And the truth, well, the truth was still being buried. And now, the question everyone's asking, who really planned Kada Scott's murder? And how far up does this cover-up go? Was Kian just a pawn in someone else's twisted game? Was Gabby protecting him? Or obeying orders from someone even more dangerous? Because if the FBI's leaks are even halfway true, this wasn't just a random act of violence. This was organized cruelty, masked behind money, secrets, and silence. One thing's for sure, the truth is creeping closer. And when it finally breaks, it's going to shake more than just Philadelphia. So, what do you think really happened to Kada Scott? Drop your theories in the comments, hit that like button if you're still following the madness, and make sure you're subscribed to Lumi Legacy, where we dig deep, ask the hard questions, and expose the stories they don't want you to know.